let's talk about something that I know for a fact Scott didn't like. I don't think he liked it either, because we kind of argued about it during the movie. So George goes to this house that he knows the neighbors of, and he walks in. It's the beach house,
right?
And he walks to the beach, realizes, oh no, this is bad. You know, he sees like a plane has crashed. He sees dead bodies. Then he looks in the sky, and he sees his plane, and it starts crashing. All right, you two didn't like this scene very much.
I might have just changed my mind.
Okay, well,
keep explaining it, and then I'll tell you what I.
Okay, so throughout the movie, my argument is that we're living in a day and age of like where you're just so dependent on technology, even your pilot. So maybe the pilots thought they had like a couple 100 miles to like make it somewhere because technology told them that. And then all of a sudden it shuts down. And then sure, they're on the ocean, they could see the land, but they don't really take into factor that like the gas is like pouring out.
No,
so they don't know exactly how to land the plane. And so they think that, okay, we have like this much time, we have this much land until we can safely, or at least try to land the plane on the water. But then the plane just like starts going down.
Yeah, because what happens in the scene is that the guy walks up, the plane crashes there's a bunch of dead bodies, and then another plane comes and crashes in the exact same spot that first plane crashed. And the reason why I think I changed my mind is when I think about it, the reason why it would crash in the same spot is because if a plane has the same route, the entire world didn't get hacked. The United States got hacked. So as a plane flies closer into proximity of the service and like electronic hacking system or whatever, as they move closer to the U.S., then their plane shuts off and they start to crash the same. And they would probably land the same place the other one was. So think about it like a bubble over the U.S. So if a plane flies into it, then it shuts off, and that would just cause it to fly in, if that's what the case.
Well, I think the pilot could take control of the whatever the fuck you hold on to.
Yes.
And glide it. Steer and glide.
That doesn't, yeah.
You don't need the gas or the engine to be going.
Yeah, that doesn't solve that issue. Yeah. It does solve why they were shut down in the same spot, but yeah, the pilot didn't do a good job of trying to protect his passengers. He's like, all right, boys.
No. What? Okay, so on like your point, you're talking about they're kind of tracking what the last plane did.
Well, no, so like think about like that table is the United States, and around it is like a force field of where the EMP hit or the cyber attacks, where all the electronics are shut off inside of this area. So as a plane flies into it and gets close enough, then its electronics shut off in proximity to the U.S. Mm-hmm. So then it would cause it to crash. Well, because the whole world's not shut down. It's just the United States. So planes are flying across the world over there.
Right, but
it's
like
just in the United States.
A pilot can still control the plane. It can still realize like, okay, not a good space to land.
Yeah, he could. Yeah,
but we don't know how far the EP is like reached. It could be 1,000 miles into the ocean.
It's also hacked. Could have been hacked to crash there.
But the pilot can still control the plane. Like it can still lift up all this, but like maybe it was like on the same path of a plane that thought that, you know what, this was like a good emergency landing. This looks like it would be a safe place to land. So it already had its trajectory that it was just going to land here and it was going to be safe. And then by the time that a plane is going that far down, it's too late. You can't just lift it up, because then you realize you're about to wipe out a whole neighborhood of people.
I think if you were a pilot, you'd probably land in the neighborhood.
I guess it's to each his own.
Because they would be trying to go as far as possible. Like they're trying to survive.
Do you land close to the ocean, or do you land in the middle of land?
I would take it if this is possible and turn it against the shoreline and just try to crash in shallow water. So that way my people can get out and swim to the shore.
You want to land in like a big field, but I guess water would be a second.
The
Probably.
issue is that with the big field is that when you hit it, your plane might break and it'll tumble and then you catch on fire.
Just as far as this movie is shown, there's no big land. They're surrounded by trees. So you don't know exactly where you're landing when you land on that, like in this big field of trees. Like you can either land close to the water where you know for a fact that nobody's about to like just be living there, or you can land in the middle of trees.
Yeah.
Where there could be a neighborhood.
Yeah, I guess.
It's a tough subject. I mean, this could arguably be one of the dumbest things we have talked about because we have no idea how planes work.
No, and it's also just like the biggest issue with it, no matter if it's possible or not, is just that it's dumb as fuck for a plane to crash in the exact same spot. Like it's crazy enough to see one already crash. It's almost better that you don't see one crash.
But you don't see it. Like maybe the pilot looked up and realized, holy shit, this is our best option without killing that many people.
I'm just saying, like in the case of a movie, like we can figure out why it crashed there, but I'm saying it's stupid to make a plane crash there in the storyline. Like it's almost cooler to not even have a plane crash there, to just not, or have a second plane crash there just to be like, oh fuck, what happened to the first plane? You kind of know.
No, you don't, because there's an EMP. I'm sorry. What's up, Scott?
It's just the same thing as the deer. Just weird stuff is happening. It doesn't actually make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that planes go on trajectories. They follow the same path that other planes before them went. Like, okay, we knew that this plane that crashed into the beach was like an hour before me. So maybe the pilot sees like, holy shit, this plane crashed into the bay, into the beach, because it essentially realized that was really the best course of action. Like me trying to fly another 20 miles, like I'm going to kill way more people than if I just crash into the ocean.
No, yeah, I know, I get that, but I'm just saying that writing it in is dumb. Like that, making
Why?
that
That's how planes work. Like,
no, but you can choose to have anything you want in this movie. You can have a fucking 30 planes crash. You can choose not to, though. So you can choose not to have a plane fall. We're trying to justify the plane in that scene of what the pilot was thinking and why it crashed there. But we really need to be questioning, why do they even have a plane crash there? That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter what the pilot's thought process was. What matters is, why the fuck did they have two planes crash in the same spot?
Because it shows that everything's fucked up.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying it's dumb to have it crash in the same spot, and we have to talk about what the pilot is thinking, like how this would be possible to justify it for not being dumb. But then again, you get the gist of it by just seeing the plane crash. Seeing one plane crash and people dead, you're kind of already like, oh shit, shit's fucked.
Yeah, but no, like if you understand like how flights work, you understand that like a plane following the same path as another plane is going to be like a couple hours behind, which like he shows up to the crash landing and realizes like, oh shit, like this happened. But like if you just understand that planes follow the same path, that there will inevitably be another plane crash in the same way, because that pilot understands that this is the best course of action. Like, I can't kill a neighborhood.
I know, but that doesn't matter.
What do you mean it doesn't matter? Like,
you can choose to put a plane in the pic. You're writing a story with your own imagination.
Yes, but he is showing up to the beach and he audibly sees that like these dead bodies are just scattered around the lands. So he has shown up probably hours after the plane crash, because you never hear a plane crash initially. So what does that mean? That means another plane was on that same exact pathway. So it's been hours. It has to do the same exact thing as that plane.
Okay. Well, if you want to get realistic, if a plane wasn't sending signals back or the air traffic controller wasn't sending signals back, the plane wouldn't land.
EMP.
Exactly. The plane can't communicate to their landing base. They don't know how the skies look. They don't know what they the planes would know that, hey, the United States is not working right. We're losing connection. We don't have anything. Let's turn the plane around. It's not safe to land.
Turn the whole plane around?
Yeah, find another place to land. Go land in Mexico or Canada.
There's an EMP. They don't have that connection to
So if they don't have that connection, they know they can't land in the United States because they're getting nothing.
But what if they get the EMP too late? Which is why he just...
You said hours after the first plane crash.
Right.
The second plane would have known. It's dumb to write it in.
I disagree.
What does it add?
Huh?
What does that second plane crash add to the movie?
The fact that this is so fucked. There are two planes crashing in the same exact pathway.
Did you not think it was fucked the first time when the first plane crashed?
I think the second plane was obviously dramatic effect.
Dumb dramatic effect.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It added like a movie moment, like a big crash where he gets to run away from it.
That was the only point. That's why I'm saying that sucks. Just write in a second plane crash just to have him run away from it. Just do it. I think it's just dumb to have two. Makes no sense. You already had one. Why do you need two? Show the first plane crashing and have it run from the first one.
Anyways.
Yeah, let's move on from this fucking plane.